Well, well, well. We meet again. We meet again, sweet friends. Looks like we have some work to do. We're going to talk about the 5 signs that a monitoring spirit is near you and what to do about it. We're going to talk about how to protect ourselves and how to get up out of it. Whatever they're trying to do, we're trying to escape to whatever degree. Greetings. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath. So good to have you here. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for inviting me in. Have a stay. If you're interested in working with me, y'all know how it goes. Description box below, website info. Ask your angels first. Always check. And then let's go. Let's get to work. All right. Let's get into it. 5 signs that a monitoring spirit is near you. For those of you that do not know what a monitoring spirit is, what I will say is that on your journey, you're going to encounter a lot of people that take a certain interest in you because your light shines very bright, it radiates, and it pulls in all kinds of energy. And even if it's not new people, because where I really notice monitoring spirits is with family. Family can be monitoring spirits. Maybe some of the first monitoring spirits in your life were family members. And so that's the first time you really started to understand the nature of how that works and that people would want to keep tabs on you to any degree, whatever tabs means, okay? So it's people that watch your life. Now, the thing about it is, I wish I could say they're harmless as flies or harmless as like a mosquito would bite you or a fly is just going to annoy you and buzz around you. It's dirty, but it's not going to actually take blood from you. But the thing about these monitoring spirits is do not let it trick you. Pardon me, guys. Do not let it trick you into thinking that it's harmless, because monitoring spirits can stop blessings. They can morph into blessing blocking energy or entities. Monitoring spirits can wobble your foundation. I'm here, I'm drawn to a crystal book on my bookshelf ahead of me, but it says rock on it. Well, they can really wobble your foundation and make you not feel stable. They can destabilize you. They can cause you second guess yourselves. They can become third parties into whatever manifestation you have going on. If it's relational as well, they can be affecting that. Monitoring spirits are really interesting because even though it seems like rather harmless, it is not harmless. It absolutely can really stymie growth. Now, at various points in your journey, you're going to have different experiences with different entities. You're going to be introduced to different things. You're going to have a different understanding of what kind of chaos these humans out here can bring. The monitoring spirit happens after you've had your tower moment, after you've had your dark night of the soul. It happens afterwards. A lot of people report gang stalking, if you've heard that word, or maybe it's a word you became familiar with, where even though you can't put your finger on it, you feel intuitively and energetically that people are watching you. Or maybe you do know. Some of you guys have fled terrible situations, so you know that someone's like eye in the spirit realm is directly fixated and focused on you, and they're obsessive about you because of whatever happened or however it ended or whatever earth angel justice that you had to dispense, that you were dispatched to do. So the thing about this is with you guys is I don't want you to think that you're crazy. Monitoring spirits are there and they are trying to keep tabs on you, but I want you to know what you're looking for, because that's where the work that you have to get done begins, okay? Is when you know exactly why. Sorry guys, let's adjust that here. When you know exactly why they're there and what kind of chaos they can bring. All right, so when we're dealing with a monitoring spirit, let me get my handy dandy light. Okay, so the first thing is reoccurring snake dreams. That's it. Reoccurring snake dreams. When I went through my dark night of the soul both times, and I won't say that it was like 2 dark nights of the soul. What I will say is that when I have had extremely toxic people around me that I just would always give the benefit of the doubt, that's when the big guns came in. And that's when my ancestors and angels stepped in and said, we got to get the snakes out. And I would literally have dreams about snakes. And so very distinct, very prominent, very much understood. And then I would see, you know, following signs. You guys know the signs and synchronicities come in, where it would be replicated in my waking life, where I would see 2 snakes dead on the road or something of that nature. So the snake is So powerful because it's all about transformation. It is about a Kundalini awakening as well, ascension. It's about shedding skin. But if it's toxic and it's someone that's trying to get in, it means that they are duplicitous. Very much that symbol of good and evil in the garden. There's something that's off, or they're in a shadowed side, or they might be trafficking entities, demonic entities or energies or anything of that nature, where they could have shown up in your life as someone that seemed very safe, very good. You were comfortable with them. You trusted them, right? But then something shifted, and I say they go rogue. And that's when they're kind of infested to demonic energy. How that happens, just so that you understand, so you can check with yourself, are these people truly entities in your life, is that there could be a switch that's related to jealousy. Let's say there's a little moment that happens, and maybe it's nothing, or maybe you injure them. You say something, you don't even realize it. To you, it's nothing. You are how you speak, whatever the case may be. But to them, it shifts something, and then they start to seethe. And if it's envy or jealousy, then that starts to brew. So that's when they are lowering their vibration, and demonic entities can attach to them. Demonic entities can attach to them. That's how those demons get in and get through, so that they can corrupt you. When you're a light worker, when you are an earth angel, you have this mission here to do. And the light's bright and everyone can see you in the spirit realm. So even if your friend was not naturally imbued, or your family member with this spiritual gifting that you might have, demons are. Demons do. What that demon do though? So the demon is happy to inhabit that person and send them after you, because what better, I just heard, of a person, because they're a Trojan horse of sorts. They're in your life, or you want them in your life, or maybe you love them, maybe you're dating them. That's the worst, is when you're sleeping with the enemy. But you have them, and they have close proximity to you, and what that means is that they can destroy you from the inside out. And so the demon is on a mission, and it's really just using your person, whomever that person is, as a skin suit to infiltrate. That still doesn't mean that you are going to allow them in after the exorcism is complete, or whatever the case may be, because you have to understand there was a seed of something sinister in order for the entity to attach properly. They had some kind of off energy with you, some kind of thought, some kind of concern, some kind of judgment, some kind of gossip. They had overstepped boundaries. They were playing with the beloved. And what does the word say? Touch not my beloved, and do my prophet no harm. Sis, they were not supposed to do it. So that's the thing, is you will see snakes anyway. The next thing is your plans will fall through when they are always or almost about to come through. Took some notes here, guys, so bear with me. So that's the other thing. The number 2 thing is that the plans that you have, let's say you're manifesting something and you're like, I have been working on this. It is going so good, sis. And you're talking to your friends, you're talking to your bestie, you're talking to your woman, your man, whoever is in your life, your mama, I don't know. But you're talking and you're sharing it with someone. And you notice that maybe you don't have a big circle. Maybe you only share with a couple of people. And so you notice that every time you talk about this thing, all of a sudden it just doesn't come to fruition. That is a sign that you have a monitoring spirit. That means that someone's energy is fixated on you, because they're not necessarily wanting to see whatever you're talking to them about to come true. So if you're sharing a dream, this is what the word says, well, do not cast your pearls before swine. So let's say you're sharing with them a dream, something long held, something that's finally seeming to come into fruition for you. And then just as you get to the finish line, it just falls through. You can't figure it out. You're doing everything right. Your manifestations are clear. Your vision board is up. You are doing everything you can do to make that be a reality, and it's still not. How does that happen? And then when it happens repeatedly, that's when you have to really set yourself free, and you have to pay attention, because someone is not maybe just trying to destiny swap with you. It may not be a full destiny swap. That's another video for another day, but it very well is an attack to get you to stick and stay. Why this would happen, where the demon merges with the person that you used to know, is that they don't want to see growth. Your demon doesn't want to see growth, and sometimes people want to see you do better, but just not better than them. And so if they feel like you're about to ascend, or they don't understand this weird spiritual ascension, and it's all like topsy-turvy for them, they will absolutely try to sabotage you by monitoring. One of the best talks I saw on this was by Black Witch Yaya, and she does a talk about a best friend that did voodoo on another best friend by monitoring her, essentially, and she would be very upset. She talked about both perspectives of it, I think, but she said she would be very upset when the other friend finally got wind, because her mother did work and was like, stop telling your friend everything because she's hating and she's like ruining your manifestations. And when she did, she started to flourish. Anyway, I will connect that below. Black Witch Yaya, a fantastic content creator out here. Black girl magic in every way. This woman is killing it. But her storytelling is supreme. Fantastic. And that may be a video that you relate to. It's something that a lot of women have encountered, especially with angels. We get a lot because we're just like innocently bopping through. Doesn't mean we're perfect, but we are mostly innocently bopping through. And people will fixate energy on us out of a lot of reasons. So that's the next thing you need to know, is that they will monitor you because they don't want to see your seeds grow. Period. They want to squash that shit. They want to kill that shit. And that's why I think it was a really good video to listen to with Black Witch Yaya, because she's talking about how the woman took her power back, as you can too. And we're going to get into some crystals and stones that will fortify you as well along in that journey. However, you have to, the first line of defense is not about crystals or anything else. First, it's a prayer. Show me who the snakes are. And usually you'll see it in a dream. You'll see a license plate when you're thinking about the person, like they'll pop in your mind. Then there's a snake in front of you, even if it's not a real snake. I also had encounters with real snakes. So I was like, oh, it's really time to go. You're wild. You're wilding. In any case, they do not want your thing to grow. They want those trees and flowers to forever stay, thwarted. So that's what you need to know. The next thing you need to know about a monitoring spirit is they will have passive aggressive behavior. Gather round, girls and guys, let's hear it. This is the truth. If you've ever dealt with that coworker that was passively concerned trolling, well, I'm just worried because whatever, or a friend or a lover or you name it, if you ever had any of those experiences, those are people that are monitoring spirits. So it's because they're judging you internally about whatever it is, whatever the thing is. And so they already don't like you in a way. And so they're going to communicate to you passive aggressively, because one thing we know that they will always find and purchase is the audacity. And the second thing we know for a fact is that they're going to speak on nothing they know about because they feel like you deserve and need their opinion. But they're going to do it never directly for a fact. And that's a fact on fact. Direct, what is that? They have no direct flights to catch. It's only subs coming out of their neck. So if you hear that, pay attention, because really with a monitoring spirit, that's the highest form of disrespect, because right under that bubbling is the aggression. They want to fight you, or they want to mess things up for you, or they want to end you, or whatever. I'm channeling Billie Eilish. I want to end you. Yeah, they're in a night paralysis and they're your night paralysis demon. They're truly demonic. Like, you guys do not understand. Spiritual warfare is so real. So people get very upset. I will tell you, I was dealing with a monitoring spirit in 2024, and I was seeking prayer. I was grounding. I was outside. I was doing you guys can even go back and see, I was at the beach a lot reading and stuff like that. It's because I was going into spiritual battle. My angels told me what was going on. And I had the dreams and all the rest of it, but I had to do the real final cut. And one of the things that happened is that I found myself, what was I saying? I had to do the real final cut. I'm grounding. I was grounding to here. Oh, yes, demons. I had to do the real final cut, right? And I had prayed a very specific prayer. And the next day, the monitoring spirit reached out. And they told me a very interesting situation that happened, where someone was calling them out about demons. Interesting. I was downplaying it, just to be very honest, because I was thinking, maybe. I already knew what it was, but I didn't think it was that level. I knew I was in danger. I knew I needed to extricate myself. I didn't know how deep it was. Like, I was dealing with a higher level demon. That's why I was like, we leveling up. Okay. I was looking at my nunchucks. It was like a Jackie Chan and what's old dude Smokey moment. Chris Tucker. It was rush hour. I said, okay, this is how we're gonna play. Oh, oh, I thought we were friends. So it was crazy. So my angels were like, no, this is a real demon. What had happened was someone was there were some things going on in their life, and there was something happening where she was praying over someone that was, not well and very, very ill. And another family member was like, I do not want you praying over this person because I'm concerned about demons. Now, the family member, to be fair, is very, Christian in a very traditional way. And the person that was my monitoring spirit, I was like, no, that's not anything. She doesn't play on that side. But the more that they revealed to me, the more I knew. And it was so interesting because who would she call to talk to about having that very unnerving experience? Guys, when you are protected, when you are chosen, when you are an earth angel, when you've been obedient to do your mission, when you've done sacrificial giving, which I have some videos coming up here about how you can sacrifice something once a month for the rest of this year in accordance to moon cycles in order to help you manifest like crazy. But stay tuned for that. But when you are chosen, you will be so protected. My angels caused her to have an encounter. They think about them truly orchestrating like a chessboard. They caused her to have an encounter with someone with whom we had spoken about previously, who was, a little on the edge of zealotry, if you will, and kind of chuckled about it, and it was no big deal. But it had set the groundwork and the foundation for that conversation to happen where she felt safe enough to say that to me, but really was a context clue for my angels saying, cut yourself free. We need you to see you're dealing with demon attachments and entities. It was such a peculiar thing, and in all the years that I know her, nothing like that had ever come up. That word specifically had never even come up. But when it came up, it was in the middle of spiritual warfare when another face and a mask was dropping and another face was being revealed. And it was time to go. And my angel said, we need you to know, no. You're dealing with something very, very, very manipulative and purposely malicious. When you're dealing with a monitoring spirit, the passive-aggressive behavior, that's what I was saying too, that had ramped up because the demon wants to freaking end you. So anyway, that was my full story regarding actually understanding how much we're loved, that my angels would cause it, that some random person in her family literally uses that word in an accusation against her. Now, what's interesting is, listen, the Spirit of God is the Spirit of God, which I know I have in me. The Holy Spirit, I totally, I relate. He would judge me because that's what Christians do and be like, I'm the devil. But I feel like we might have the same Holy Spirit, and discernment is a thing. And I think he was picking up on my friend and that monitoring entity and demonic energy within. And it was like a tag team wrestling match, y'all. It was like my angels were like, we tagging in a Christian, sis. You need to see this. And I said, Christian, I grew up Pentecostal. I see you. And I was like, Jesus, tell them they lie. Tell them what you want. You're not going to get me, demon. You're not going to get me. Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the Holy Ghost, man. I'm the Holy Ghost woman. I'm the embodiment, really, of what we are supposed to be doing, meaning I'm not out here on demon time. I'm out here like the rest of the collective and you earth angels that are just trying to live and be, pretty and divine. We're just doing what we can. But my angels tapped in that old faithful Christian and said, man, you dealing with a demon. And it wasn't a conversation between me and him. He will never even know that happened. But she brought it to me. I said, look at God. Look at God speak. Hey, I love it. So anyway, passive aggression. The reason that they were really getting me ready to leave is because her passive aggressive remarks and comments had heightened it. She was moving to aggressive. And I said, well, I am saved and sanctified. But say less, sis. If you want to be on this directive, then we can get a mission accomplished. Everybody wants to go to the circus until it's time for them to be the clown. Keep playing around. Now, number 4, copying everything. Copying everything. They will become your favorite whatever. Listen. Listen, Linda, y'all have been out there knowing that people sometimes cannot get enough of monitoring and copying you. Now, here's the thing. For some of you guys, and with certain aspects in your chart, there are things in your life that you are mandated to do, and you will be inspiring. That is what the culture has become. It is what it is. But you know what I mean by copying. And I'm not talking about copy like an artist. I am channeling Basquiat, right? Copy like an artist who he was inspired and constantly consuming information, and then he spit it out and made it his in a unique way. And with his own spin and his own language, if you will. They're saying people can be inspired by you like that. That's fine. But people that are monitoring spirits will literally take everything precept by precept, line by line. I'm channeling Soldier Boy right now, who was like, Drake, he took my whole flow line for line, bar for bar. That's a monitoring spirit. They can't wait to watch you. They may have definitely said you were crazy, not liked what you were doing, whatever the case may be, and then they become your biggest fans, really. But it goes beyond fandom. It's Stan. It's Stan. My tea's gone cold. I wonder why I got out of bed at all. They are literally obsessed with y'all, and it becomes very scary, and that's why you will have to break free. The whole point of a monitoring spirit, guys, and understanding the anatomy of the monitoring spirit isn't just because God hates you and he wants to send you crazy stuff in the gauntlet of life because it's fun to watch you run and cry. That's not what it is, though. Questions have been asked, but what it is so that you can learn boundaries. That's it. For us recovering codependents and formerly enmeshed empaths and absolutely boundaryless earth angels, when you are, the only way that we learn initially about setting boundaries is when we're so bloody uncomfortable with whatever the situation is that we're like, I have to get out of here. And usually because we're long suffering and we are self-soothing and we're dealing with our traumas and all the things, we may overstay our welcome because that's what we were always taught to do. So that's why the chaos is brought to you courtesy of the monitoring spirit, because your angels need you to be so fed up that you start closing doors, that you start shutting things out energetically, that you start cutting cords, that you start using your crystals, your tools, your prayers, your salt, your words to release the grip that these people have on your life and your birth. I'm hearing you guys are in birth. The Empress is birthing things. And monitoring spirit wants to be like the Hansel and Gretel witch that catches as a baby before it's even out of you so that she can eat the placenta. It's crazy. You have crazy people that are not dealing with themselves. And if they are, so this is for someone here, if they are lost in addiction or self-medication of any kind, that's going to make it worse. If they have any kind of spiritual psychosis, that's going to make it worse. If they think there's some kind of like, whatever, I read a Google thing. They're not weavers, guys. I have a video coming up about, are you a weaver? We'll talk about it, but they're not weavers. They're not just creating work to protect themselves or prayers to protect themselves. Naturally, everything has to be read to them and everything has to be copied. And that copying is so corrosive because it's also a way to kind of chip away at your own mental. That's why you have to protect yourselves and just cut them off. Because when you can't feel the cord of connection anymore, you start to make them go through withdrawal. Think about pouring like salt on a snail. And they're saying that's the place you want to be with these monitoring spirits, is where you need them away from you, actually. But it's all there to teach you about boundaries. So if you wanted to know, like, why did I have to go through this? You went through it so that you would know what it feels like when you're in disgust. As empaths, we didn't really familiarize ourselves with disgust. It was just more, take from us. So really, in the last many years, as I've gotten more and more healthy and gone through more and more trials, every time I think I'm doing okay, what has happened is I've learned, it's like, oh, I've never known what it felt like to be like, get the fuck away. Like, now I know. And now I know what that really, really feels like. And I'm like, oh, this is what everybody else was doing in their life? We're slow to bloom. But that's okay. Look, guys, we're in bloom, though. We're in bloom, though, today, okay? We are awake. So pay attention. If they are dealing with you, they are copying you. And that is a sign that you need to break free and get them away from you. All right, and the last one, hidden jealousy. The hidden jealousy is real interesting because, listen, I don't even know if it's hidden. It's quite obvious in the things they say. It reminds me, something Oprah said is that she took someone shopping with her in the beginning of her starting to make money, and Oprah had bought several black things because she was looking for something. Several black dresses or skirts, and the lady was like, oh, do you really need another black skirt? The way that people will hate will be really creative when they're monitoring spirits. It's going to be passive aggressive. It's going to be jokey. It's going to be, you can't take a joke. It's going to be this. But really, it's jealous. It's really jealous. And pay attention to that, because you may think like, oh no, they would never be. Or you might even be being the generous earth angel I know you are, and gifting them or giving to them to any capacity or degree. And they are just taking avariciously, and it's never going to be enough. With a monitoring spirit, if you are feeding them in any way, whether it's emotions, finances, sexual energy, some of y'all got to stop sleeping with your monitoring spirits. What will happen is they are now entitled, and they're feeding off you, and they're like fat ticks is what I heard, and they're just so happy, and they get very pissed when you want to cut yourself free, and angry, and that jealousy will seethe. For some of you guys, it may have to get to level 5, because I see the jealousy that comes in pretty soon. That's the beginning of the situation. And what I feel like will happen is that when you feel that, it causes you to want to pivot away. It makes it so that you're like, okay, I understand. This is weird. It's getting weirder, and I need to get out of here. Okay? Anyway, so that's what you need to know. Those are the 5 steps. Those are the 5 tips about what to look for when you have a monitoring spirit. Do not let them, try to keep an eye on you, because for a lot of them too, they don't have anything going on in their life. Maybe not like you. Maybe they have stuff going on in their life. Maybe they want to swap lives with you. There's a big destiny swap energy that I'm trying to avoid, but here it is. But whatever the case may be, they are watching because you're living to a certain degree in their mind free. We're freer than them. It may not be the most freedom, and maybe you still have your own problems, guys. And that's why I think we have a hard time really rationalizing when we're in one of those situations. It's because we're like, oh, but you don't know that I struggle with this, or this is an issue for me, or whatever the case may be. No one knows that, because we don't live like what we've been through. And even if they do know, even if you've sat down and had the come to Jesus and talk to them, and they still are acting like they're crazy, it's because you get through things and you just do it differently. Even if it's not about what they saw, even if they heard it, they can't relate, because they were not there watching all of the details and energy you put into something, so they can't appreciate what your struggles have been. So they're monitoring because they're unhappy to whatever degree with their own life, or they have spiritual entities, either one. Now, if you are in a workplace and you need to take your power back from a boss or a corrupt corporation, or maybe you're dealing with cult exits, then I would highly recommend this gold obsidian. Even though it looks black, it is called gold obsidian, and it has this sheen that's so beautiful at the top, but it's all about taking back your power from a boss specifically. So this is any crystal you ever see, were crystals not acquired for vanity. Each and every crystal, I have a series here in a playlist attached below, guys, go check that out if you're interested, called Crystal Clear, and I update it ever so often as I feel called to by my angels. But this series, this is in Crystal Clear. I did a whole talk on this, so if you want to know about this piece right here, you can go check that out. In any case, when you're dealing with taking your power back, this is the one that I bring out. Bring them out. I've said they're not acquired for vanity. I acquired them because it was something I was going through. They were assisting me. I use them as medicine, actually. One of the other things, too, and I'm going to just reach and grab here, is this is fantastic for everything regarding clearing out other people's energy. This is a unicorn piece of selenite, but selenite, guys, comes in all different shapes and sizes. I'm looking to see. I have a selenite egg here in front of me in my little crystal garden. So I have a little selenite egg. We'll pop it out there. It's beautiful. So that's fantastic for after an egg cleanse. Once I do an egg cleanse, I also have a video about that here. Egg cleanses. I take this and I go over after as an extra bit of fortification for my egg cleanse. And I keep it in an egg cup, because why not? Solar plexus as well. Fortify yourselves in the areas that you can, guys. Let me see if I can get this back into my crystal garden. Okay, a piece of desert rose is interfering, but that's okay. All right, so this is something I would clean myself with, wand myself with, charge outside, do all the things with. You can use selenite in, and you should, essentially. It's like the Men in Black thing that goes bling, and like everything goes away. That's the energy that I consider selenite to have. In any case, kyanite, black kyanite specifically. There is blue kyanite. This is black kyanite. It's also considered the witch's broom, okay? I also have a crystal clear clear series here about kyanite as well. I believe black and blue kyanite. This is a natural formation. Literally, it's not shaped that way or molded. It literally grows with these striations that look like a broom. In any case, literally sweeping off other people's negative energy from you. Check out the information in the other video where I go more in depth. But all these black crystals and stones are helpful. I have black obsidian, just regular black obsidian, in the shape of essentially an angel, a warring angel. Whenever I work with this, I'm thinking about Archangel Michael specifically, who unsheathes his swords and cuts off people's heads to set you free. I love it. I love that for us. Black obsidian, you can get it in whatever shape you want. I have so much black obsidian on my desk. I'm not trying to pull apart my whole crystal garden, but I've got this beautiful black obsidian crystal ball. I have them in all sizes. When you're doing this work, black crystals matter a lot for protecting your energy because we're dealing with all kinds of energy all day. Another one, this is snow, is it snow obsidian? I'm not sure. I don't know that I have a crystal clear series on it, but I do have a video where I was doing something with some of my A1 day ones where we were watching, we were reading, excuse me guys. We were reading about, I was working out of a crystal book. I had them pick a number and they picked a stone. In any case, this is about integrating your shadow and your light. This is so beautiful. I will see if I can connect that below so that you guys don't have to go search for that. But it was just a quick little video and it was really, they were personal. They were for each person. So, but this stone is fantastic for helping you balance. In any case, those are just a few of my favorite things to work with when you're dealing with a monitoring spirit, okay? However you work with your crystals, there's videos up here about that. You can Google that too. I think I may have some as well. Do what you do. But what that means is, let's say, let me give you a quick example. If you're working with your crystal to remove your monitoring spirit, that means like as simple as having it out next to your journal or whatever you're working out of or from. Okay, that's it. That's all. And that's as simple as it can be. I would charge him in the moon. I would wash him in the sun. There are ways that you can do that. It's simple. It's really about taking him outside and grounding essentially those energies. But they are very helpful for keeping you clear and clean, or sleeping with one by your bedside. People carry them all around. It's a whole thing. The girls that get it. Y'all know. I don't even have to explain it to you guys in the collective, but for any newbies that are here, your crystals are not going to like sing to you, but they will vibrate with you and things will become, I think, more clear. But anyone who's had experience with crystals, please leave it down there. Talk to me in the comments below and let me know. Drop your crystal emoji down there, your crystal ball, whatever you can find, your gem, your diamonds. They all have a place here. And I'm looking at something else that's a biblical thing, but we'll deal with that on another day. No, actually they said we were supposed to do it right now together. Oh boy. You know, a lot of Christians, that's why the Christian guy that helped with the demon. Okay. Christians have a whole issue about metaphysics and all of that stuff. And it's like this ongoing battle forever and ever. This is demonic according to them. But really, God has really set this in place. In the Word, in the Old Testament specifically, God told people exactly what gemstones to get, and I've got this because this is a perfect reminder for me and a lovely reminder always. And he instructed them to put the 12 tribes on their breastplate, and he described what each stone would do, and that's how we know about these precious stones. So this is biblically founded, and this is one of my favorite kind of like combatants for anybody that's kind of like Jehovah's Witnessing me, you know what I mean? So there's opal, garnet, ruby, sapphire, topaz, aquamarine, emerald, onyx. Onyx would be a good stone for protection as well. Agate, jasper, amethyst, and diamond. And he literally, there is a scripture in the Word where he describes specifically for them to go and get this and put it on their breastplate to help armor, upcharge, and protect them. You can't make this stuff up. So if anybody's giving you any flack about your crystals, tell them to shut up. But then maybe direct them to the Word, the good book that they say they know and love, and tell them maybe, are you channeling from above or from what someone told you? What that dog would do, sis. What that dog would do. Anyway, I love this. And I'm so glad we had a chance to talk so that we could empower each other about monitoring spirits, all right? Remember those 5 steps. Think about who's in your life that might fit the bill, and then get them out of there, because if they can ruin your life, they will. All right, so good sharing energy with you guys. Come back and join me next time. We'll continue to evolve. together.